I got my period very early. It was in year 5. Had to start dealing with very adult issues very young. I wasn't ready for that. But my periods ever since then have always been really weird.
To date, have you ever had a diagnosis for your period problems?
No,
Okay.
never.
So what was your mindset after getting told we can solve your problems with taking your organs? Where did you get to in your life where that was like the last option for you?
So it was just a whole lot of not being heard, I think. And there was no information. I couldn't find any information about what was actually going on.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Khush Corner. I'm Amy Ann and this is my co-host
Heidi!
Thank you for joining us today, where we're changing the conversation around women's health from silence to celebration. This is your safe space to feel heard, understood, and never walk alone in your hormone journey. In today's episode, we have Candace Mcdonagh. Before we get into that really quick, we want to tell you to go over to khushplace.com, where you can find all of your hormonal needs, but also get in contact with us. You can also find us on social media at The Khush Place on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you're interested in submitting your story to us, there is a link in the show notes. You can also go to The Khush Place and follow the links under the podcast tab. While you're there, sign up for our newsletter where you can find all the latest on hormonal health. That being said, why don't we dive into introducing our guest today, Candace. Candace is the current international role model Ms. She is also the business operational team leader to look after and advance women in men's roles, empowering women in male-dominated fields. Candace is a massive advocate for multiple spaces, including domestic violence, and speaking up for women and those who can't.
Amazing, Candace. I'm really, really excited for you to be here with us today.
Thank you.
We have an incredible journey. We want to hear all about it. I think our listeners, first off, would like to know some truths. There's so much misinformation out there about hormones. So, Amy, what's one myth you're consistently having to debunk?
I read a very interesting piece about the reasons why women get hysterectomies, and I always thought it was just because, you end up in menopausal region and things aren't working correctly, and then you end up getting a hysterectomy.
Well, I thought hysterectomies were traditionally in terms of a cancer. That's the only time I ever heard about them. But
right, like when you start having a problem. But the research that I found was the top 3 reasons are heavy periods, pain, and then fibroids, which I thought, fibroids would be one of the top ones.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting that people are cutting out their whole uterus just because they have period pain. How do you?
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy that's the top.
It is. Look, I have my own personal experience with this, and I have a friend who had a hysterectomy for very similar reasons, but her doctor said to her that it was the only way that she would ever get out of pain was to remove everything. So she did, and she was 36 when that happened. I mean, she had already had 4 beautiful kids, and they're all safe and beautiful and healthy, but for that to be a medical professional that went, the only way you're ever going to get out of pain and you're ever going to feel any kind of normal is to rip every internal organ out that reproduces life. Rip it out, you'll be fine.
Isn't that so strange that's the answer? Like, you're in pain, we'll just take it out.
Yeah, just, sure.
Okay.
Obviously it wasn't put there for a reason. We clearly don't need it. There wasn't a bigger plan for that. It doesn't regulate anything. You'll be fine, just get it out. By the way, you'll be on drugs for the rest of your life to manufacture what those organs do. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Awesome myth. Well, I mean, just on that then, did you want to tell us about your story? Where did it all begin? Is that where we want to kick off?
Take us back to the beginning. Tell us your period story.
Okay, so I was always somebody, I got my period very early. For me, it was very early. I was in year 5 at school, so had to start dealing with very adult issues very young. I wasn't ready for that, and nobody in my class was ready for that, which became very evident when I had a stain on my school skirt, and nobody really was everyone was like, oh my God, what are we, that's not normal. Whew.
Call the ambulance.
There's nothing like being in year 5 at school and being called not normal. So that was a really fun time too. But it was always painful, always really, really heavy. And I always had a lot of soreness, a lot of tenderness. And that was from a really young age. So being a bigger girl in primary school especially. Always had really big boobs and I was always really sore, so I was always trying to cover them up and compress them anyway. So I didn't know whether my pain there was due to my cycle, whether it was due to the fact that I was pretty much trying to force them back in so that I didn't get picked on. But that was my introduction to this was, there's something that's not right with you. Like this shouldn't have happened so early. We need to cover it up. Like it was never, oh, I'm here to help you and this is the way that we can help make this easier for you. It was always everybody else's inconvenience.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's
When you're not understanding your body and then people aren't helping you understand your body, it's double down.
Yeah, I'm only just double digits. Like going through all of this stuff for the very first time and I'm already not normal. So that was fun. And that story is not isolated. Like that's, everybody has, like there's so many people out there that happens for and they all are still made to feel the same. That for me was very many years ago, but it's still exactly the same story that kids get told now.
Sadly.
Which, yeah, that sucks. But my periods ever since then have always been really weird, like weird symptoms that I just went through and was like, oh, that must be how it is. You know, I'd go to the doctor and say, I've got really heavy periods and I've got this pain and I've also got a couple of pimples. At 12, you should go on the pill. That's the answer. Like, oh, this will help control all of that. Plus, it might actually help you to like lose a little bit of weight. Which that was always
interesting.
I'm already internally furious. But let's keep going on the story.
I was on the pill from about just after 12 through until I think I was about 18.
So can I just ask, did anybody, when you were suffering at 12, try to understand why? Or was just like, let's just make it stop?
No, yeah.
So you didn't really you had no diagnosis, there was no reason, there was no investigation or tests? Right?
No, nothing. It was pretty much, we can fix it with the pill, you should just go on the pill, it'll be fine.
Like, too much, here's a pill, go away. Okay,
yeah. And that never alleviated any pain. Like the pain never goes away.
Designed for that.
No, it was never anything like that. It, for a while, stopped my periods altogether. Then I had like a lot of spotting in between times, which everybody just said, oh yeah, no, that's normal on the pill, don't worry about it. Cool. It wasn't until I got a little bit older and started looking into things and was reading up about side effects, because might not surprise you, but I hadn't lost any weight. Shock. There was actually a really big point in my world where I was much, much heavier, and that I'm still assuming that is due to being on that pill. And when that happened and when all my things didn't subside like they thought they were going to, it was, oh, you should change to this next pill.
Yeah. It's not the pill's
put
the problem.
You on the
Let's just
wrong
try a
one.
different compilation of hormones. Let's see if that works.
The pill is right, but this particular one, not yours. The next one, we'll try the next one. And it wasn't until I started thinking about having a family and going, oh yeah, I can't wait to be a mum. And I looked into a little bit more about contraceptive pill and stuff and went, my God, there's a really big possibility that being on this for this long from such a young age is going to severely impact whether or not I'm able to have children.
Yeah.
And I pulled myself off it, much to my mum's disgust. She was like, what do you mean? Like, you're just getting into that, like you're getting sexually active and now you're going to come off the pill. And I was like, yeah, but like, what if I can't ever have babies? Turns out that wasn't ever a problem. Like I fall pregnant very easily.
To date, have you ever had a diagnosis for your period problems?
No.
Okay.
Never. I've never been diagnosed with anything, purely because after going back to so many doctors and saying, this is the problem, this is what's going on, and them going, oh yeah, we can fix it with medication. There's no point. It's not, like I've been trying this since I was just over 12.
Yeah.
What are you going to introduce to me now that's going to make me feel any differently?
Yeah, it's so
So you sort of just start to not believe that what you're being told is true. And I went, you know what? I'll figure it out for myself. It's my body after all. We'll just roll with it. Clearly she wants something. Yeah. She's an attention seeker. Yeah. Like, let's just give the girl what she wants. So I
like that you've got a name for her. I think it's so important to like learn the language of your body. Yeah. So I like the language you're using. Like, listen to her. Like, yes, please. Yeah. She's talking to you.
She has an opinion, and you're not doing the thing, which is why it is not getting fixed.
Which is why she's mad.
really, really sad about all of that is the only time that I ever got to a point where a solution was offered was like through hysterectomy, which is when they had said, you know, we can sort of like a medical wonder, we can take away all your problems and all your internal organs.
Yeah. And then we'll just give you more hormones.
Yeah. Like
The thing that's the problem, we'll just do more of that.
Yeah. So, but then the issue with that was I went, okay, well, if that's what's going to fix it, sure, let's do that.
Yeah. Because you trust, don't you?
But you can't do it until you turn 40.
Yeah.
So even though we've told you that this thing could work for you, we're not going to give you any other option until you turn 40 anyway. Because you might still want babies on. I have two perfectly fantastic humans.
Yeah, I mean,
anymore.
can we stop with the whole like baby conversation? Like sometimes a
why
period's
is
just
your
not about
whole
having a baby.
world-
Can we stop?
Yeah, why does everybody's whole world have to be so reliant on you making more children to bring into the world that is heavily unstable at the moment? I was always very content with the way that I'd had my children and I'd brought them up and they were fantastic, and it was always everybody else's excuse. Oh, but you probably want more. No,
You already did your bit. Like, you
just
already
because
have
I'm
your family.
in a
you know?
child breeding age range doesn't mean that I want to have 5,000 of these little suckers.
That is such a funny way to put it.
I got 2. I'm good with 2. Just
Yeah.
let me have 2.
More power to the women that have more children. But I already am severely outnumbered. And I've raised those 2 children predominantly on my own their entire lives. Like, I don't have enough hands for more children.
Yeah.
And it was never part of, I wanted my children to have a sibling because I never had a sibling. But past that, like, I was good with 2. Like, I'm absolutely blessed. And, you know, I would rather use what I have to help other people get pregnant, which is a whole nother story. But, you know, that was the way that I wanted to go about being able to help other people do it rather than me do it. Like, I don't know why that was ever part of that conversation.
So what was your mindset after getting told we can solve your problems with taking your organs? Where did you get to in your life where that was like the last option for you?
So it was just a whole lot of not being heard, I think. And there was no information. I couldn't find any information about what was actually going on because turns out, you know, most of the doctors, I'm absolutely putting this in a most column, I know it's not all of them, but most doctors are male and nobody has ever gone, do you know what, instead of just putting a Band-Aid over all of these women's problems, let's actually have a look at the female body and see if we can understand it or start to, because clearly for years the Band-Aid method has been working, not really. So, but nobody really understands, and that's, you know, if you don't research into what a female body is capable of, how can you expect to understand how to fix it when it's not playing the game properly?
Exactly.
Like, it's screaming at you to fix a thing.
Yeah.
And if you don't research into it and figure out what it's asking you for, how are you ever going to know? Like, can't just keep putting some manufactured hormone
synthetics
in there that is going to act a certain way and be some sort of awful for the rest of your body just to mask a symptom.
Yeah.
100% agree. So what's something that you used to think was just normal because, you know, you've been told a lot that you're not normal, but I'm sure you were told a lot of times that this is just normal.
Yeah.
So what do you now know is definitely not a normal thing for you?
I know that it is not normal, and not everybody gets to that debilitating stage every month where they can't get out of bed because they're in that much pain, where the only comfortable position you can be in is the fetal position because that is the only bit that makes you feel semi-human that day, is being cuddled up into a ball.
Tiny bit of comfort.
Yeah, and it doesn't go away. It's slightly reduced because, you know, that pain has less to follow through your body because it's all squished up together. But like, that's not normal. It's not normal to feel like your entire uterus fell out of your body on the first and second day of your cycle. Like, and that insane, and I know women out there will have felt it, where you think your whole vagina is going to fall out because there's so much pressure and throbbing and pain behind it.
Girl.
that you go, and but that's normal. Everybody goes through that.
I know.
Do they? Like, why has nobody like fixed it?
I know. I should see people literally in fetal positions on the street. Like, where is everyone?
Where is everybody just crippled over? Because I don't see it.
Like, what? If that's normal, I don't like it. Like, we need to find a new
I don't like
normal. That's not normal. That's not normal.
No. Yeah,
And
totally.
I'm very, very glad that that is not my every month now, because, I can't afford to be taking a week off work every month. I can't afford to be, a mother of 2 teenage children that cannot come out of her bedroom, that is stuck in the fetal position for a few days every month. Like, life needs to go on. Like, it's, let's embrace it. Let's fix it. Let's give this body
Let's ask
what
more
she
questions,
needs.
not just
But
acceptance.
to people who will actually go and find answers, not people that go, oh yeah, well, we're pretty sure that this is how we fix it.
Yeah.
So walk us through what a typical bad day for you looked like versus what they look like now.
So mine, obviously your period is awful, but that wasn't always where I had like really bad hormone days. It was also the being insanely snappy and not understanding why, being not able to fall asleep, or being able to fall asleep and then not stay asleep. And then that then rolls into a really bad mood the next day because you had no sleep and you've got a teenager yelling at you and a sassy 10-year-old that, wants the world or had a really bad day and it's your problem. Like, it was all kinds of everything to do with my mood, everything that wasn't balanced because I hadn't slept, or I was in some sort of discomfort and couldn't explain why. And it was partially due to the fact that, I didn't look for more answers because I'd always been told that this should fix it and this should do the job. But, I didn't know when I was ovulating. I didn't know that there was a certain pain that came at different times of the month, because that's when your body is doing all the things that it does fantastically inside of you that maybe you're previously not supporting, but you could have been with somebody's help, but nobody really talked about it because women's issues. Like,
Hysteria.
Yeah. And like, how dare you be in pain as a woman? Also, like, why are you being so hysterical about this? Why are you crouched over, especially with men around that then judge that and like, oh, you'll be fine. Okay, you deal with it and then see how fine you feel.
Yeah.
I would
No
love
vagina,
to see,
no opinion.
I would love to see a man go through it. I put a TENS machine on a man once and it was...
I tend to think that we wouldn't have hormone problems if men were
Oh, no, because they would fix
Point blank.
it.
Could you imagine if every month they felt like their prostate was going to fall out?
Yeah.
Could you imagine how fast that would be fixed?
Or like their testicles were
Being
bound
twisted
up.
every day.
Yeah. And you go, yeah? Does
Yeah,
that feel
now
good?
let's, yeah.
Now do you want to
Now
find
go to
a
work.
solution?
Normal.
Yeah, but don't take a day off for that.
Yeah, no.
How dare
Get to
you?
work. It's work.
And did you go to the bathroom like more than 5 times?
Part of being a dude. Deal with it.
Just deal with it. Be a man. Go and be a man and deal with it. Yeah.
So what does it look like for you now that you've been going through this hormone journey?
I actually love telling people my story of when I first found Balance Me, because I was very much, it's not going to work. What is this? Like, it's just a bunch of stuff they've ground into a pill telling me to take it. Tastes awful. Makes me feel a bit sick when I first started taking it. Must take with food because does not like my stomach. But I remember having a phone call after, and it had only been 2 weeks. I was only taking it 2 weeks prior to my period. It's so solid in my head how it made me feel too. But I started taking it, I was like, oh, it's all a bit woo-woo. But we'll give it a crack.
Yeah.
Like, what have I got to lose? What if it does actually work? Or what if it just reduces what I had?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, I got my period. Now, I wasn't tracking my cycle. I didn't know anything about my cycle. But I didn't know that I was getting my period. And I got my period and it surprised the crap out of me, which usually is not how it was, because I would have pain.
Well, we just heard about the
Serious
fetal
amounts
position.
of pain. So I always knew when it was coming. But for me to be taking Balance Me for like the 2 weeks leading up to my period, having my period and not knowing it was coming, there was no pain. There was, my sleep was starting to get better, and I've always struggled with sleep. Always.
Yeah.
And it's, since I've had children, before I had children, like it just seemed to have been my whole life. I couldn't pinpoint it to one particular time in my life when I had slept well.
Yeah.
And to not have felt anything, to not have had my body fighting me when I came up to getting my period, I was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean I have my period?
What happened? Like it was all of a sudden blew me away, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't have any pain. I didn't have any cramping. There was no cramping, which in all my time of, having periods, like the whole time, there's never been a month that I didn't have a huge amount of cramping.
I love your story.
And there was just nothing. And it was only 2 weeks. Like most things, even when you go and get antibiotics.
Yes.
It doesn't work in 2 weeks. They're like, no, you have to take the full thing before you're going to get any results. New skincare, that's 28 days. Like you've got to do it the whole time. Like don't break the routine. Balance me, 2 weeks, finished, fixed. It blew my mind, and I've never been more empowered to share that with people.
Wow.
Because so many people have those issues, and if I can say to somebody, you know what, mine was gone within 2 weeks, I reckon if I had had my period after a week, it still would have done the same thing.
That's incredible.
But for 2 weeks, and then to go, I have none of the pain that I've been dealing with for over 20 years.
Wow. Yeah. So simple as well.
Yeah.
It's just a hormonal baseline.
And all because of you two. Because somebody actually stepped out and did some bloody research and went, you know what? We could fix this.
Well,
this
that's where we got to
this thing, and I can fix it.
Yeah. Well, we can help.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Thank you.
But there are so many women that maybe don't even have the hardcore stuff, endometriosis, PCOS, all of that are just dealing
struggling
with major period pain, that you can go, I've got a vitamin, it's got nothing bad in it.
Nothing.
It's good for everybody. Take this. Guarantee you it will help. Guarantee you.
It's a big statement. Thank you.
But it's true. Like,
you're so passionate because I can see it's just changed things for you. Like that's a huge journey from 20 years to...
And to not
pain-free periods,
have
that's wild.
anything is great. And also, I don't feel like my vagina's going to fall out.
Yeah.
Love that. The vagina's staying where it wants to be.
I do still have heavy periods, and I think that's just me. I just have a really good ability to good lining. Like that's just where I'm at, and that's fine. They're always probably going to be heavy, but it's regular. I never have to wonder when it's coming. I know when it's coming regardless of pain or not. Yeah. I know that everything is as it should be. There's no...
And of course then the balanced hormones is letting you sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is
which
such a
makes
huge
me
part.
a much nicer person.
And your mood's better because you can sleep. You
I
can
used
deal
to
with
be
the cranky teenagers.
One of those people that had 6 coffees a day to keep me going.
Yeah, it's high fatigue, isn't it?
And I have 1, and I have it more out of routine.
Habit, yeah.
It's my routine in the morning. I get up, I turn the kettle on, I'll make it, I take it with me to work. I have it here with me now. It's still predominantly full. I haven't drunk the whole thing. It's a habit.
Yeah.
Like I could probably give it up if I wanted to, but I like that nice warm drink, especially in winter.
Of course, yeah.
But I don't need it to get me through the day because I'm actually getting a restful night's sleep. And the best test of that is to keep your Fitbit or your Apple Watch or something on at night and then look at it and it's like, oh, I'm like kicking my own butt with how much deep sleep I get because I'm actually falling asleep and staying asleep.
Yeah.
Like when you see it go
Maximum
all the way
recovery.
down to deep sleep, I'm like, yes. We did it.
Hit the deep sleep.
Love the health hacking.
Yeah. But it's just a record of, stuff is actually working in your body the way that it should be. And did you have to go on some magical pill from the doctor that gave you 100 other side effects that you weren't prepared for? No. Did you have to get every internal organ ripped out because that was the only way forward? No. You had to take a silly little vitamin that 2 sisters from WA made and it fixed everything. Like, what? It's just, and it's, I don't know. I'm a big advocate for it. I really like it. I really believe in the product.
So do we. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
But without that, I wouldn't be I solidly believe I wouldn't be in the place that I am now, because
Flourishing.
it drags you down.
It does.
And
it affects everything.
I don't want to be controlled by an inconsistency in my body. Like, that's not a fun time.
I know you know your body, you're understanding your body.
Yeah.
What a powerful place to be.
Yeah. And there is so much to understand, because she is needy.
A girl.
So this is when you started to feel like you again,
Yes.
right? Like
Well, I did. It wasn't even like me again, because I didn't know what me was. Because
So
I
you
didn't
started
have
to-
the me before this was the me in pain.
So you had to learn kind of who you were,
Yeah.
and go through this whole hormone journey that we're meant to go through as like teenagers, preteens. You were doing that at 30.
Yeah, in my 30s.
Wow. It's pretty incredible.
Because that was the first time that I'd ever had any information or anything else other than the contraceptive pill will fix it shown to me.
So ladies, it's just never ever too late to start knowing your body
Absolutely.
and listening to her.
Yes.
Look at you flourishing.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Me too. And then I made my mum do it. Yeah. And she's was loving it too, because she's
Amazing.
one of those people that doesn't sleep well, is always moody. She's
How old
been
is
through menopause.
is your mum in the part?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and she's over the other side of it and turning into her grumpy old woman era. So,
At least she's sleeping.
yeah, she's sleeping and she's not as grumpy.
Great.
And it helps to get her through the day and keep her mood really good. And so that was a really good thing for her
Amazing.
as well.
Good on your mum.
Yeah.
Love to chat with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking back into your journey through life, like you've gone through a lot of getting told that you're not normal, to finding out that what you've been told was not normal, to finding a solution and learning about yourself again and learning about your hormones, and then sharing that message with a lot of people. What are some red flags looking back through your past that you wish you didn't ignore?
I wish I hadn't have listened to the people that had said, oh no, everybody goes through that. Anything that you notice about your body, whether you think it's a positive thing or a negative thing, it should be investigated. Like, don't just go, oh yeah, everybody must go through this. Everybody does not go through this. Every journey is different. For me, that feeling, that heaviness in my body every time I got my period, that was not normal. Like, that didn't need to feel like this, but you just sort of, and also because nobody else, like you have your mum to go by, right? And because she'd never dealt with hers either, that was normal for her.
Yeah.
So don't listen to what other people have gone through and what they say their version of normal is, because chances are they haven't had the help
Theirs is
either.
normal either.
Yeah, but they've been told
Very true comment.
that it's normal and that everybody goes through that. Everybody goes through that because nobody looked at finding a solution for that.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Like the generation before, they didn't have any research. They were the generation that the pill was kind of tested on, I guess.
Yes.
So they never got the information, and then they were drip feeding it to us, saying that it's normal because that's what they were told. Whereas we're finding research now that, you know, it's just not.
If there's anything you see in your body, if it's a funny discharge, if it smells funny, if it feels something, like if it has a pain attached to it, if it has an icky attached to it, like if it makes you feel weird, look it up, get more information. Chances are it's not normal.
Yeah.
Like there's probably a very, very simple solution, something so small that you can change in what you're doing that could help you with that.
Very true.
But it's just because
And
we're
small
sort of
changes are very
got the
impactful.
blinkers on. And nobody looks for more information because we've always been told that it's fine and it's
Yeah.
normal. Everything should be a red flag. It's your body. It's the only one you get. Like, look into the things. I'm so glad I started looking when I did, because I have an 18-year-old daughter. I don't want her to go through all of these years going, oh, but it's normal. No, it's really, really not normal.
Yeah, let's shortcut her education into knowing where we are now so that she has 20 more years on top of us to learn more
Yes.
in-depth information.
And
so
then
by the time
her
she's
kid-
our age,
Her
they'll know.
kid is going to just be like, flourishing from the time it's born, because it will never have to deal with hormonal imbalance. We'll never have to say, oh no, that's normal, don't worry about it.
Isn't that the dream?
This is the whole thing. This is why we are we're starting the conversations. We want to sit down with people. We want to hear your stories because we want to change.
Yes. I'm doing it now with a teenage daughter. I'm showing her. So she's only gone through 4 years of having that grossness, and now we're fixing hers. Then so that's me for 20 plus years. Yeah. Her 4 years. Yeah. Her kid is not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because the things that we're putting in place now are going to be able to totally eliminate any issue that they're going to have to face alone.
Yeah, completely change the conversation for the next generation.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do a fun segment here before we wrap things up with you, Candace. So we're going to do a rapid fire questions. We're going to try and get as many done in 60 seconds. It's about periods. It's going to be fun, okay?
Okay.
The challenge is on. We've got 8 questions. Let's see if we can smash them out.
Okay. This has not been advertised to me prior to this.
That's the whole point.
I did not know this was happening.
Okay.
Just used all my best material.
Okay, what's your go-to comfort food during a period?
I love ice cream.
One thing you can't live without when you're hormonal?
My teddy bear.
Best piece of advice you've ever received about women's health?
Try something new.
Your favourite way to practice self-care?
A bubble bath.
What's your period tracking up?
I use, Stardust.
Oh, biggest hormone myth you believed for too long?
That having your vagina feel like it's going to fall out is perfectly normal.
Weirdest place you've had your period?
Oh, it was my first one at school, stained back of my skirt. It was awful.
One thing you wish your teenage self knew about periods?
Everything I know now. Everything. There isn't one thing. I wish she was very, very educated, and I pray that the next generation is.
Well, you made it. Easy time. 53 seconds.
We just have to pray that the next generation does know all the things, because none of what you get told is normal.
I know, education.
Health? Wow, can you imagine if we got you two into a health class? Yeah. Put you as part of the curriculum.
Well, hormones, should definitely be part of the curriculum. Yeah.
But there should be a highlight on women's health, because it is completely different to everything else.
Oh, yeah.
The conversation is changing now with the empowerment of like our generation and not taking no for an answer. The conversation is changing, but slowly. So power to us.
At least it is now.
Yeah.
Somebody is saying something, and that is going to help every other generation.
Okay, ladies, let's pause what you're doing and grab some tissues, because we're here for story time. This is our community spotlight. That magical moment where we prove that no matter what you go through with your hormones, someone in our sisterhood has been there too. Because here's the thing, you never have to walk this journey alone. Heidi, do you have today's community spotlight?
Yay, you're going to love this. Okay, so these are stories that have been submitted by our customers to our community of their period stories. So we've been inspiring people, which is amazing. Today's story comes from Sarah. She's 28 years old, and she reached out to us after starting her hormone journey. Sarah says, for 2 years, I felt like I was hitting a wall after wall. Every doctor's appointment ended the same way, with them pushing the copper IUD as the only solution to my irregular cycles, my painful periods, and constant fatigue. I'd leave feeling defeated and unheard. I wasn't looking for a Band-Aid. I wanted to understand my body. The breaking point came when I found myself crying in the car after yet another appointment when my concerns were dismissed. I felt like I was asking for too much. I wanted to feel like myself again without masking symptoms that were clearly trying to tell me something. Then I found the Khush place. And for the first time, someone was saying, let's figure out the why together instead of here's what will make it stop. 3 months into focusing on the root cause through nutrition and lifestyle changes, I'm finally seeing glimpses of energetic, balanced person I used to be. Whew. I get excited to see who I'll become as I continue healing from the inside out. And so sweet.
I really, that's not a one-time thing.
Such a common story. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
And I think I just really resonate with it because I've been there. We've all been there crying in our car, pulling our hair out what? Is there no one listening to me?
Yeah, I've come out of that same appointment. I've just given that person money and I still have nothing to show for it.
It's so frustrating. It's
Another
so
normal
invalidating.
blood test.
Yes, and now I know that there is still nothing wrong with me, but I have all these symptoms.
I have all this paperwork telling me I'm fine, but currently crying in my car.
Yes,
So
and that's normal.
yeah.
So well done, Sarah. Keep going. Continue healing from the inside out. You're on the right journey. Yeah, we're here from you.
Okay, Candace, before we go, where can people find you? Plug what you're doing, what's happening in your life.
Ugh, my life is chaos. Thank God I'm sleeping well. Thank God I'm sleeping well. So on Instagram, Candace Michelle Mcdonagh is my username. I am Royal International Mrs. International Role Model for 2025-2026. So there is a page for that as well, to come along on my pageant journey. But my life is just as fun as my pageant stuff. So I love sharing my whole heart on my standard Instagram page. It's like an extension of my heart. So I put everything there. So if you want the real raw stuff, it's gonna be there. We like a good story time. But my year is chaos. There's so much travel involved.
Amazing.
There is so much going on, and I'm, again, like, can you imagine having to travel to all of those places and have these iconic periods that blow your mind every 4 weeks? You know, like, thank gosh that we have this under control, because walking in New York Fashion Week would not be possible. Going to Tennessee and traveling around America for 3 weeks would not be possible. Going on a cruise to the Bahamas would not be possible. I would be a mess. Like, I'd be going, oh my gosh, okay, I need to plan out, like, when is my period due? Oh my God, no, I can't do that because I'm going to be in so much pain for those first 3 days.
So true.
It would hinder everything. So very, very grateful for the place that I'm in already. And I know that I'm on the right journey and I can do all these things and not have to worry about it.
Okay, and don't forget to go over to thekhushplace.com to find out all our latest information and DM us on socials if you want to chat. Remember that you deserve to thrive with balanced hormones and pain-free periods. Until next time, stay Khush.